Hi everyone, and welcome to the Aries Monthly Illumination Tarot reading for the month of July 2023. So hi everyone and welcome. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. I am Lauren. We're going to jump right in here, Aries, to take a look at what you can expect for the general energies of the month ahead. We're going to first take a look at what you're bringing to the table with your own energy. Then we're going to look at what Spirit's asking you to really embrace by the end of the month to really help you bring in a blessing or a point of abundance for yourself that is looking to come in. We'll also jump into seeing a challenge or a block that you will be facing and advice from Spirit as to how to overcome that as well. Okay. All right, Aries. So we have here, go a little bit further in. Okay. So we have the King of Cups and the Four of Wands. Now, the King of Cups is the energy of someone who is very emotionally stable or emotionally mature. It can also be a very, when we think of the kings, they can bring in that paternal or masculine energy. And there's a feeling here of really embracing that loving, paternal, caring energy. Now with the Four of Wands, that's the energy of anything that basically has a stable foundation around it and something that often can be celebrated by others. And that's really why this card can represent a marriage at some point, because that is a foundation that is going to hopefully lead to more for those two individuals who are getting together. And it is something that can be celebrated by others. But I get the feeling here, Aries, that there is something where you are reviewing either a marriage commitment, reviewing a foundation. And the King of Cups can be a Scorpio. That is scorpionic energy. So there is something here that perhaps for some of you, either you have strong Scorpio placement and this is an element of yourself, or you are looking at a significant other in your life experience who really embodies this kind of emotionally mature, loving energy and looking at your relationship with them and a potential foundation that you have created with them. For some of you, you might be looking at the start of this. For some of you, you might be in the middle of it. And for some of you, you might be, way down the line here. So kind of as this is a general reading, take this, at any point in that timeline where you might be. But the one thing with the King of Cups, if this is yourself or if this is an individual outside of yourself, something to keep in mind that although they are truly the king of the emotional realm, meaning they have mastered their emotions and they tend to be very emotionally mature, there can be an element of stoicism to that person, whether it's yourself and how you come across or whether it's the other individual and how they come across to you, meaning that when we think of someone who is emotionally mature, they're the person who's not going to kind of fly off the handle and start crying at the drop of a hat. They're not the individual who's also going to lose their temper really quickly. They actually may come across almost sometimes emotionless because they are so at peace with their own emotions, or they understand how to process them before then taking action based from what they're feeling. So keep that in mind if you're like, well, I don't know anybody who's, so into their emotions. And it could actually be that you or the individual, you're so strong that they might be coming across as emotionless, which is interesting. I don't know why that came through, but that is a message that intuitively came through for somebody out there. So we have the Two of Cups and the Page of Wands, which I love. This is a really beautiful energy here and what Spirit's asking you to embrace. Two of Cups is intimate, authentic connection with others. It's where we get to bring our full cup to their full cup. And with the Page of Wands, there's this sense of kind of going out into the world with a sense of play and adventure, almost like reading with another individual saying, let's get together and go out with the eyes and the innocence of a child and let's start to have fun. Now, your underlying energy, what you're coming in with here, you have the Seven of Wands, which is the energy of protection. It's the energy of standing your ground. It's the energy of really asking yourself, is it worth it for me to defend the actions I'm choosing to take? Now, underneath that, there's been a little bit of an avoidance here of walking away from something emotionally. So the Eight of Cups speaks to walking away from what no longer emotionally serves us. It shows that we might have invested a lot of energy and time, and especially emotional investment into something, and yet we know there's more out there for us, and that it's time for us to have to turn our back. No matter how much this looks like we have a lot, it is not emotionally fulfilling. And so the individual goes out in search of the extra 2 cups there. Or how I like to see it is he takes the 9th cup and goes out to connect it with the 10th cup. Because again, whatever we have here is not really anything until we connect it with others. 8 of Cups, 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is a card of avoidance. 7 of Swords is a card where we don't really want to face something, or we're trying to get away with something. And so for many of you, I think with the 7 of Swords, especially with the 7 of Swords and the 7 of Wands, there's been a little bit of this kind of trying to defend, not wanting to see what needs to be, what no longer serves on an emotional level. Trying to defend not taking action in some form of leaving behind something on the emotional realm. Now, this doesn't mean that you actually have to, let's say, walk away from someone or something. This can actually be walking away from a pattern of behavior that you have poured in your emotional self into, meaning this could be like saying it's time for you to walk away from the emotionally or the emotion of low self-esteem, or the idea of low self-esteem, which is now no longer emotionally supportive of you. This could be something along the lines of walking away from a poverty mindset, or walking away from even a behavior like addiction that no longer serves you. So there's something here around taking a look at that in your life specifically, where there's not been an avoidance of knowing what it's time to walk away from. And again, if this is something like a poverty mindset where you're like, I'll never make that much money, I'm not worth that amount, or low self-esteem where you're constantly plagued on an emotional level by the fear of your own failings or what you lack. This is saying it's time to face that and really kind of dig into where that's coming from, and it's time to finally release that and walk away, and possibly to defend your action to do so at this point, instead of defending your action of not wanting to see. Because there is a commitment or a foundation that is being reviewed during this month, and it can potentially lead to a really beautiful connection and a newfound sense of fun and play and adventure towards the end of the month here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull your additional cards. We'll get into the block, advice, and the blessing of abundance that wants to come in. So let's see here. What does Aries need to know? And after I pull these cards, we'll then pull some clarifiers, get a little deeper into the message. Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Wands, which is interesting. So the 6 of Cups is kind of returning to the past. This could actually be for some of you where there is something from the past that can be brought forward now that might lead to an opportunity. At the heart of your reading of the Wheel of Fortune, which is beautiful. This is what Spirit's asking you to really embrace this month and to utilize this energy to help you get past this initial block, so that you can come out here with the 9 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. Now, the main underlying or secondary underlying energy is the 5 of Pentacles. And yes, so this really does speak to kind of what I felt was coming through here. There might be this element of a poverty mindset that it's time to walk away from. Again, walking away from those feelings of I am not enough, I will not have enough, I cannot make enough. And so this is really a month where you get to kind of face that, and I think kind of blow that out of the water here. So 6 of Cups and 3 of Wands. 6 of Cups can speak to what I was saying, kind of this feeling of nostalgia, going back to a time where maybe we were more innocent. It can also speak to getting a gift from the past, meaning that you can now, from a different perspective, view something from the past that maybe had been even not happy or loving, but now you can go back and get the gift of knowledge or realization of something that can give you peace in the current moment. But what I'm feeling here for some of you is there's this element of possibly kind of being stuck in the past. Six of Cups and Three of Wands, this is kind of being stuck in the past and maybe waiting for an opportunity where you're sitting here going, well, I've always wanted, when we first got, this could be like if the relationship, when we first got together, this was what we were hoping was going to come in. We kind of said, let's invest a little bit into this house after we got married, and we're going to kind of then just wait and see what comes about. And then we'll see, maybe down the line we'll have a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, and then we'll see if we can sell it and then level up. But there's something here around, perhaps for some of you, there was this, you got stuck somewhere. You got stuck somewhere where that 5-year, that 10-year plan never realized. I'm sorry, guys, I just need to quickly turn off my notifications there. Okay. So there's something coming through here where there could be something where you're stuck in the past, where, and it might actually be that maybe if this is a relationship, and again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This could be a relationship with either someone prominent in your life or a person or individual who actually helped feed this sense of lack within yourself. So this could be a past relationship. This could be even a parental relationship. So you kind of have to go back and see where this started. And you might be kind of stuck in that point in the past. And it's not allowing a new opportunity to come forward here. Because we think about the 4 and the 3 here. There's that sense of kind of being stuck at the 3 of Wands and never really getting to the 4 of Wands, which is the stability, which is something, again, that it's a benchmark. It's saying, we made it. This is wonderful. Let's stop and celebrate and look how far we've come. It's almost like you're kind of getting stuck in that 3 where you're like, I'm waiting for the stability. When is it going to happen? And I think for many of you, it might have already happened. It might already be coming in for you, but yet you're stuck here in a point in the past around someone else, and you're not allowing yourself to stop and say, yay, good job, I finally made it, because you're still looking at it through the lens of, it's not enough, I don't have enough, I'm not worth enough. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, it says, the wheel is spinning in your favor at this point. This is, at any given point in our lives, we can be at the bottom of the wheel or we can be at the top of the wheel. But this shows that there's a flow of energy right now, a flow of energy which you can take advantage of. It also is it's a point too to stop and think about that. Stop and think about where have the low points been and where have the high points been, and maybe comparatively, are you at a high point and can you really see that as the blessing? Because what I'm seeing on the other side here is the 9 of Pentacles is a beautiful energy. This is one of independence. It's one where you actually are sitting very nicely in the physical, meaning you might have all the things you need. You might have a savings in the bank. You might have the beautiful home. And it's also telling you to kind of stop and smell the roses, that this is a chance for you to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. Now, at the very end here, you have the blessing this month is clarity. It is the aha. The Ace of Swords is that clarity of a new truth. It's also something, it can be that revelation where it's like, ding, the lights have turned on. And it's like, oh my gosh. And what the aha is referring to, the 8 of Swords, is where you've been stuck mentally based on some mental program that directly ties back to your feeling of lack in the physical, that then ties back to something on an emotional level where, again, I think it has something directly to do with the 6 of Cups, where this is, this could be like your first boss who told you, who was really kind of maybe emotionally abusive in your relationship and told you were never going to amount to more than a certain level in your career path. This could be your first love who broke your heart and told you that, basically, again, who you were as an individual was not enough. And maybe that left you having to give away half of your belongings. There's something along those lines where, or if this is with the individual you're with, this could even be, where something happened in the marriage early on or in the relationship early on. And there's kind of that the relationship got stuck at that point. Instead of saying, let's look at how the energy has changed, how we're at a different point in our life, and where now can we see with clear eyes and true connection. Where can we see how we've gone from the Three of Wands to the Four of Wands, or how can we get from the Three of Wands to the Four of Wands? How can we get from this period of just waiting to the actual period of stability and celebration we're really looking for? And that's the Page of Wands here. It's almost like both of you get on board, you clink your cups, and you say, let's go out and put up the fourth post. Let us make the opportunity and celebrate together instead of waiting and stuck at a point in the past. You have a beautiful chance this month, Aries, to kind of put something difficult in the past to rest, to make peace with it, and to really go out with a new sense of connection, of empowered self. And I think for many of you, the blinders might come off to realize, it's almost like you have a lens on that you see everywhere around you nothing but lack. And yet if you took the lens off, it's like, here's the amazing abundance of everything you have around you. And that's going to give you that sense of, oh my gosh, what else can we do now? Let's go out and see. Let's go out with that sense of play and adventure. And whether this is, all pertaining to a relationship, an intimate relationship, a new relationship coming in, changing the dynamic in a current long-standing relationship, or whether this is it could be in the work environment, and this is looking at, getting to a firm foundation and how you choose to, work from a place of passion and bringing your passion and sense of play and connecting that intimately with others in your workplace. This would be like saying, I'm going to pull off the blinders and realize, oh my gosh, look how far I've come in my work environment, past that point where I was with that boss who told me I was never going to get past that point. Well, I've not only gone past that point, I'm at a place where I'm making more money than I ever thought I would. And actually, I think I can make even more. And I want to go out there and start to share that with others. I actually want to see what else I can do with the talent and the abundance I have. And I think it's going to be this is a revelatory month. I get the feeling very much so. The blinders or the glasses that made you see everything that you didn't have or weren't, they're coming off. And you're coming back to embrace life as the new and vulnerable and authentic you. Okay, so let's go. Ooh, whoa, big chunk just fell on the floor. Hold on just a sec. Yeah, that's a few too many. Interesting. I'm not going to take all these cards because there's just too many, but look, here's the Four of Wands again. So there's something here around allowing yourself to celebrate, allowing yourself to see how far you've come, allowing yourself, I think for many, to see that the Four of Wands maybe is here finally, and it's time to allow yourself to see that. Okay, so we're going to pull some clarifiers here for the Six of Cups to kind of see more about this point in the past that you might be stuck in. What does Aries need to know about the Six of Cups? Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's a burden, long carried. This can be about someone who kind of forced you to feel like you had to carry the weight of the relationship yourself. This could just simply be that you've carried the burden of that relationship all the way into the present day. Yeah, and the Two of Swords. Yeah, and then so this is what you've been kind of stuck in. You've been unable to move forward. The Two of Swords speaks to having to make a decision, and yet you can't see the way forward. So there's been this decision of, it's time for me to walk away from this point, and yet I can't see how. And so you've carried this burden with you. Okay, so let's see. Three of Wands. What does Aries need to know about the Three of Wands? Queen of Swords. Changing the story. Queen of Swords is someone who really understands her truth. She's able to tell her story. She's able to tell her story of the things that she's learned, the things she's survived and still here to talk about. And with the Five of Wands, I get the feeling for some of you, there's this, it has been chaotic. Five of Wands can be where there's just too many cooks in the kitchen, too many ideas being thrown around. It can feel like everybody's trying to, get their say in, or their, like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And I think the Queen of Swords is coming in here to say, the truth of it is, yes, there was a chaotic time. It might have been a little all over the place, but she's going to know how she handled that time. I think that's the beautiful feeling of this, is that I think for many of you, you can actually really get clear as to how well you performed in a very, I would say, I mean, we can say chaotic, but just in a very changeable time where lots of things were happening around you. And again, maybe that's why you were kind of stuck waiting too. So much stuff was going on. You're like, oh my God, I can't even like wrap my head around what's coming up next. So I'm just going to I just have to keep going with the flow. I have to just keep kind of dodging this or dodging that or dealing with, whatever's happening around me. And now you're realizing, wow, I did all of that. I did manage to somehow get through all the chaos and just keep going. And that's kudos to you. And I think now you're at a resting point. You're at a celebratory point. And maybe for those of you where this is not specifically dealing with another individual in your life, this could be literally yourself. This was the whole journey to get to a place of emotional maturity to where you can sit in that place, honor yourself. And that is the fourth wand. That, it's like realizing, oh my gosh, that's the gift of the past, was that I could bring order to chaos. And look what it got me. Now we have the Three of Wands coming up on the Wheel of Fortune, which is beautiful. It's bringing in, now you're getting to the point where you're like, not like, where Spirit is saying you can bring in this opportunity. It's here right now. The time is now. But you have to have those glasses of lack, and anything that tells you you're not enough, those glasses need to come off for you to see the opportunity that's come in for yourself. So we have the Empress and the Knight of Wands. Beautiful energy. The Empress is that incredible energy of giving birth, creativity, and whether you're giving birth to an actual person or whether you're giving birth to a creative project, she reminds us of our own creative potential. And the Knight of Wands is the energy of someone who goes out with that sense of adventure. They go out there and they do what feels good, what lights their fire. And the movement. This is the energy of Libra and Taurus, and this is the energy of Sagittarius. So there's that sense of fiery, going out there and working with your passions, but also with the kind of grounding and beautiful sense of Venus, because both of those signs are ruled by Venus. So there's a sense of the feminine coming in at the same time. So for some of you, the opportunity is really coming in for you to have your feminine side really, I think, honored and highlighted, but your creativity, and then allowing you the freedom to go out and pursue your passions. And that's a beautiful energy to be sitting in. So for those of you looking to really pursue a creative project or even become a mother, there's a sense of being able to really embrace that side to yourself now. Okay, so we have for the Nine of Pentacles, let's see what Aries needs to know about the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the Fool, we have the High Priestess, we have the Five of Cups, and we have the Page of Wands. Love it. So here's the Page of Wands coming up again. The Fool, that's a jumping into a fresh start. That's someone who takes a risk, takes a leap. The High Priestess, there's a deep sense of knowing around that. Knowing that this was a decision that needed to be made into the new. And I think for many of you, you took a leap into something that ended up leading to the Nine of Pentacles, which is incredible. Again, it's having a lot of abundance in the physical. And yet with the Five of Cups, there's something here that there's still an emotional disappointment connected to that. And I get the feeling it's almost like for some of you, you brought the past in to this leap into the new. Even though you knew it had to be this way and you knew you had to jump into something new and do something new, there's a sense here of yes, but something didn't work out in the past. Or yes, I was, Three of Cups can be where we actually, have a support group that is no longer there for us. But with the Page of Wands, now the Page of Wands can represent, again, the playful child. So this might be around for some of you wanting to, make the jump to have children. It could have kind of come in out of the blue. There's something here with the Fool and the Page of Wands, but in between there's hurt, but yet a deep knowing at the same time. So there could be something wrapped up in maybe pain around having a child coming in a little too fast into the scene. But there's something here to be said also, that if this is not pertaining to something that happened around, let's say, conceiving a child or having a child, I get the feeling more that this could just be jumping into the new. You knew you had to, because we're coming in on the other side of kind of getting out of this emotional block. This is like saying, I know I have to release the past. I know I have to do something new. I know I have to kind of leave behind, again, whatever this is, the Eight of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, whatever that is, I know I have to leave it behind. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to just make a clean break. There's a feeling of making a clean break here. Because you can read this back to front or front to back. We could look at it as you went out there and you tried in the past to be the Page of Wands. You wanted to go out and, with a sense of adventure and innocence, and I want to go out and play, and then something happened. And there was this deep knowing and sadness saying, okay, well, now I have to release this and I have to try again. Whatever this was that I went to pursue or however I went to show myself, I got to do it again now. Or it can be the reverse, where you tried to take a leap of faith, you knew you had to do it, and yet it led to some disappointment around, again, a sense, either a loss of innocence of the self, or this is something to do with, again, you took a leap into having a child and somehow maybe it didn't work out. This can be where, again, I get the feeling here a little bit of a loss of innocence, or some hardship around a child, or that feeling of that, having that sense of play in your life lost. So however that comes into play here, I think what this is saying, though, is you have the beautiful opportunity, the Nine of Pentacles, to realize you are sitting at a beautiful place to take the leap into something new. Or because of the leap, even though this was very difficult, because you chose to continue to move forward, you chose to take another leap of faith, you're sitting at a place where you are very well off and independent in your own right, in the physical. And I think it's time to, again, there's that clarity. There's that clarity coming in here, especially with the Emperor coming in. So that is your card, Aries. That is you. And I get the feeling it's almost like, and the Nine of Coins. Yes, you are now the emperor to your own empire. And I feel like many of you have quite a bit of abundance at your disposal. And there's the Four of Wands. Yeah, so sometimes we can't make this up, right? It's saying it's time to celebrate. You've graduated from the Eight of Cups and the Five of Pentacles to the Four of Wands. You're here. You have something to celebrate. You created a level of stability for yourself. You've gone from the chaos around the Three. You went into the Five, which was crazy, and you've gone back to the Four, and you've allowed yourself to have that beautiful place now to celebrate from. Life can happen like that. It can be a little crazy, right? We can go through periods where we try and it doesn't work out, but then we have to try again. But for many of you, I get the feeling that there's almost a sense of taking back your power from someone who took your power from you. Especially with the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Swords, it's almost like the realization of how you gave your power away to someone else or something in the past, and how now it's the realization of I'm the emperor in my own life. And I'm the one sitting pretty with the Nine of Pentacles. I'm the one with a lot to be grateful for. I'm the one who's now achieved that level of independence. And it's time for me to celebrate that. And it's time for me to share that with others and go back out and get back out into the world with that sense of play and fun and adventure again. And possibly you're going out there with someone else. This could literally be the progression of a relationship. So it's beautiful. Or this is your gift at the end of all of this, that now you have a new relationship coming in, but you're coming in as a stronger version of yourself, of a version of yourself who has that cup, who will now be met with someone who can be of equal worth and partnership to you. So let's go ahead here and pull a couple cards. I'm going to pull some oracle cards just to get some additional advice and insight. So first we're going to pull an energy oracle card here to see kind of a little more into the energy for the month. Oh, I love it. So we have Goddess of the Moon and we have Happy Family with the number 4 coming in here. Well, the Happy Family card always to me represents kind of a mix of the 4 of Wands with the 10 of Cups in the tarot. So beautiful energy right here. Happy Family. It's there at your disposal. And then we have Goddess of the Moon, number 52, breaking down to the number 7. What I love here is there's more of that feminine energy coming through the Goddess of the Moon. This is really speaking to understanding the power of the feminine, which is heightened creativity. It is receptivity, able to receive. It's really getting to that place of understanding your emotions and heightened intuitiveness as well. It's a beautiful celebration for many of you of having to almost bring into balance the feminine aspect of yourself in relation to the masculine within. We all have those two energies kind of always at play within us. Now, Aries, you have a lot of the masculine. You are a masculine, you're a sign that harnesses masculine energy, which is all about initiation and movement and going forward. But I get the feeling that for many of you, this is a beautiful month of looking back and realizing that the whole cycle up to this point was all about helping you balance and embrace the feminine energy within, your ability to receive from yourself and from others, your ability to create and how that manifests for you in the physical. And then this is a point now where you can really either lean into the dream of the happy family and start to build that foundation based on what you have now, or you get the chance to finally take those glasses off and realize you have the happy family and it's all there for your taking and there for your celebrating or your celebration, which is just absolutely wonderful. I'm going to pull a couple cards here. Just to get an additional, let's see. Yeah, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, very beautiful. Nurturing something into existence. This can be even self-care, where you're really looking at, again, just nurturing. It's almost like you're able now to get into this kind of maternal energy, even if you're a man. It can be the same. Queen of Pentacles can kind of be seen as the mother. She is someone who understands the importance of having patience and dedicating her time and energy and focus onto one thing to help it grow. And I get the feeling here that you guys are at a place now where you can finally do that with the stability of the foundation you've created. And now you're in this beautiful place of being able to say, now I'm going to start to continue to grow on top of this. I'm going to start to build and focus. Okay, I'm going to pull 2 additional cards here. We're going to pull a Power of Surrender card. Oops. Let's see, what does Aries need to know about surrendering this month? I love it. Yeah, surrender unhealthy relationships. It says, let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. So yes, this is all about letting go of those relationships that were not supportive of you, where you got kind of stuck in the past. This can even be your own relationship, again, to your sense of self-worth. So beautiful. Surrender unhealthy relationships, Aries, and it's time to embrace the abundance you have all around you. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and pull a final card, and I'll read the excerpt that comes with this deck. Okay, so it says Orbs of Light number 40, another number 4. It reduces to the number 4 numerology, so you got a lot of 4s. Firm foundation. Your feet are on the ground and you have a lot to be grateful. Like, this is really a month to say, look how far I've come, and I'm going to celebrate myself for that. So it says Orbs of Light. The spiritual worlds are delivering a message to you. You may have already heard it through telepathic reception and mistaken it for your own thought. Yet it is inspired by your higher guidance, those spiritual beings that love you without condition. It is an answer to a question and guidance to increase your happiness. I love that. It is possible to pray without realizing it. The universe is lovingly listening to every thought and feeling in your heart and mind. When you intentionally speak to the universe and ask your higher guidance to help you with an issue, this is a powerful way to call the light into your life. It works, often quite rapidly. However, sometimes we ask for help without being so aware of doing so. Worrying about an issue or pondering a question are ways this happens. I love this for you guys because it's something, I'm not going to read the full excerpt because it goes on and on and on, but I love this because I feel like for many of you, especially with the pain that I can see from the past, there was a lot of worry. And with the 5 of Wands coming in here, there was probably a lot of chaos and a lot of stuff going on and a lot of worry. And yet, I think for many of you, you were kind of making that silent prayer. You were saying, I need help. I need to see the way out. I need a way, something to keep me focused, to keep going. And there was that thing. It was almost like your higher guidance, especially with the High Priestess coming in here saying, look over here, and giving you that gentle nudge to leap when you needed to do so. And I think for many of you that has really paid off, and it's beautiful. Probably took a lot of courage to do that. And I would say this is really that time to honor that you've been guided to a place of happiness and joy. And it was based off of a lot of stress and pain in the past. But now you have a chance to go out and rekindle that flame, that fun, that excitement, because you have built yourself a firm foundation, and it really is going to bring in the happy family, or has already. All right, I will leave it there, Aries. What a wonderfully positive and beautiful reading. I hope you all have a beautifully loving month of July that is full of releasing anything that's unhealthy for you, and just really allowing you to see how far you've come. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website to see a list of services that I offer. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all in next month's August Illumination reading. Bye, Aries.